I'm elbow deep in the engine bay of my rusted pickup when I hear Laura's phone ring through the kitchen window. Her voice drops to that honey-sweet whisper she used to save for me. "Yes, I'll wear the red lipstick," she purrs into the receiver. My wrench slips, scraping my knuckles raw against the alternator housing. 23 years of marriage, and I know every tone in Laura Kavanagh's voice. This one belongs to someone else now. "Hey, babe," I call through the screen door, wiping grease on my coveralls. "Can you grab milk on your way home tonight?" She waves me off without looking up from her phone, already lost in whatever fantasy her new promotion at Henderson and Associates has gifted her. Senior partner at 43. She's worked her ass off for it, I'll give her that. But somewhere between the late nights and power lunches, my wife became a stranger. Our house sits on Maple Street in what used to be the nice part of Millbrook Falls. These days, half the lawns are brown, and the other half belong to people pretending they're not underwater on their mortgages. Laura's BMW looks ridiculous in our driveway next to my 20-year-old Ford, like a diamond ring on a corpse's finger. I've been Mike Kavanagh, mechanical engineer for most of my adult life. Built Kavanagh Engineering from nothing after the paper mill closed in '98. We design HVAC systems for office buildings, nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills and employs 12 good people. Laura used to be proud of that. Used to introduce me as my husband, the businessman. Now I'm just Mike, when she bothers with introductions at all. The red lipstick comment gnaws at me while I finish the oil change. Laura hasn't worn makeup to bed in 5 years. Hell, she barely wears it to court anymore, says it's more professional to go natural. But someone wants her in red lipstick, and it sure as hell isn't me. That evening, I'm nursing a beer at the Anchor when Eddie Delgado slides onto the next bar stool. Eddie owns the boxing gym where I've been working out my frustrations for the past 6 months. He's got the scarred knuckles and crooked nose of a man who settled arguments with his fists for 30 years before getting smart enough to teach other people to do it. "You look like someone pissed in your cornflakes," Eddie says, signaling Margie for his usual whiskey neat. "Marriage stuff," I mutter. Laura still working those crazy hours. Among other things. I drain my Budweiser and consider ordering another. "Eddie, you ever been cheated on?" His laugh is bitter as black coffee. 3 wives, Mike. 2 of them cheated. Want some advice? Not really. Good, because I wasn't going to give you any feel-good bullshit anyway. Eddie tosses back his whiskey and grimaces. "You got 2 choices. Pretend you don't know and live with it, or do something about it. But if you're going to do something, you better be damn sure you're right." I'm already sure. The late nights that started 3 months ago. The new clothes, the expensive perfume, the way she flinches when I touch her shoulder. And now, the red lipstick for someone who isn't her husband. But Eddie's right about being certain. I need proof. The next morning, Laura's in the shower when her phone buzzes on the nightstand. I've never been the snooping type, but desperate times and all that. The text preview makes my blood run cold. Can't wait to taste that lipstick off your lips. Room 237, Riverside Motel, 2 p.m. The sender is listed as N. Cormack. Nathan Cormack. Her boss, the managing partner who's been mentoring her rise through the firm's ranks. My hands shake as I set the phone back exactly where she left it. Laura emerges from the bathroom in her silk robe, humming something I don't recognize. "Big day today?" I ask, keeping my voice level. "The Henderson merger meeting? Could run late." She doesn't meet my eyes as she applies that red lipstick in the mirror. Revlon's Passion Red, the same shade she wore on our wedding day. "Good luck, babe." She kisses my cheek, leaving a perfect lip print on my skin. "Love you, Mike." The words hit like a slap. I watch her drive away in her BMW, then call in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. At 1:45 p.m., I'm parked across from the Riverside Motel in Eddie's beat-up Camaro. The place is a dump, the kind of establishment that rents rooms by the hour and doesn't ask questions. Laura's car isn't here yet, but Nathan's silver Lexus sits in front of room 237 like a guilty conscience. Laura arrives at exactly 2 p.m., checking over her shoulder before hurrying to the door. She's changed clothes since this morning, traded her conservative court attire for a black dress I've never seen before. Nathan opens the door before she can knock. Even from 50 yards away, I can see him pull her inside, his hands already reaching for her. I sit in that parking lot for 2 hours, watching the curtained window, imagining what's happening behind it. The rage builds slowly, like water behind a dam. By the time they emerge, disheveled and glowing, I've moved past anger into something colder and more dangerous. Laura's lipstick is smeared. Nathan has red marks on his collar and a satisfied smirk that makes me want to drive my fist through his perfect teeth. Instead, I wait for them to leave separately. Then I get to work. Nathan's Lexus has custom rims and paint that probably cost more than most people make in 6 months. It would be a shame if something happened to it. I let the air out of all 4 tires first, using a pen to depress the valve stems. No permanent damage, just inconvenience. Then I take out my keys and scratch a single word into the driver's side door. Adulterer. The security camera mounted on the motel office gives me pause, but the angle looks wrong to catch the parking area. Besides, I'm wearing Eddie's baseball cap pulled low and a jacket Laura's never seen. My phone buzzes as I'm walking back to the Camaro. Unknown number. Saw what you did. Keep quiet, or it gets worse for you. I stare at the message, adrenaline spiking. Someone was watching, someone with my number. But as I drive home, a different kind of excitement builds in my chest. For the first time in months, I feel alive. Dangerous. Laura comes home at 7 p.m. with Chinese takeout and a story about how the merger meeting ran long. She's reapplied her lipstick, but there's a whisker burn on her neck that wasn't there this morning. "How was your day, honey?" she asks, unpacking lo mein with practiced innocence. "Interesting," I say. "Very interesting." The anonymous text haunts me for 3 days. I change my routine, take different routes to work, check my mirrors obsessively. But whoever sent it seems content to watch and wait. Laura, meanwhile, glows like a woman half her age. She's bought new lingerie, started working out again, even laughs at my jokes over dinner. If I didn't know better, I'd think our marriage was improving. "Nathan's taking the senior staff to that new steakhouse Friday night," she mentions casually, while brushing her teeth. "Team building thing." Sounds fun. I'm reading in bed, but the words blur together. Will spouses be there? Oh no, just work people. You'd be bored to death anyway. She's right. I would be bored. But not for the reasons she thinks. Friday evening finds me at Romano's Steakhouse, nursing a scotch at the bar with a clear view of the dining room. Laura sits at a round table with 5 other lawyers, Nathan directly across from her. They're playing it professional, but I catch the lingering glances, the way his fingers brush hers when he passes the wine. Mrs. Driscoll, our 70-year-old neighbor, appears at my elbow like a gray-haired ghost. "Well, hello there, Mike. Fancy seeing you here." Eleanor Driscoll knows everyone's business in a 6-block radius. She's also Nathan Cormack's next-door neighbor, a fact I learned during one of her fence-line gossip sessions. "Evening, Mrs. Driscoll. Having dinner with the husband?" Harold's at home with his stories. She settles onto the next bar stool uninvited. I'm meeting my book club. We're discussing infidelity in modern literature. Her eyes glitter with malicious humor. Speaking of which, how's Laura enjoying her new position? She loves the challenge. I'm sure she does. Nathan Cormack's quite the mentor, from what I hear, very hands-on with his protégés. The words hang between us like smoke. Mrs. Driscoll knows. Hell, probably half the town knows. "You hear a lot of interesting things, don't you?" "Oh my, yes. Just last week I saw Nathan's car at that dreadful motel on Route 9. Can you imagine? A man of his standing." She sips her martini delicately. "Of course I mind my own business, like hell she does." "Mrs. Driscoll, what would you say if someone wanted to make sure certain information reached the right people?" Her smile turns predatory. "I'd say information has a way of finding where it needs to go, especially when it serves justice. We shake on it like co-conspirators. The next morning, I'm in my workshop when Ray Hutchins stops by. Ray worked for me until his back gave out 5 years ago. Now he runs a small computer repair business and knows more about digital forensics than most cops. "Heard you might need some technical assistance," he says, settling his bulk into my spare chair. "Depends what kind of assistance you're offering." Ray grins. The legal kind. Public records, social media, things people post thinking nobody's watching. He pulls out a tablet. "For instance, did you know your wife's been checking into hotels on the company credit card?" All public information if you know where to look. The screen shows Laura's expense reports from the past 3 months, hotel charges, restaurant bills, even purchases at Victoria's Secret. All of it billed to Henderson and Associates as client entertainment. Jesus Christ. Gets better. Nathan Cormack's been doing the same thing, same dates, same places. Either they're entertaining the same client, or they're screwing each other on the company dime. Bingo. Now what you do with this information is up to you. But if it were me, I might want to make sure the right people at the firm knew about these irregularities. Ray leaves me with copies of everything. I spend the rest of Saturday planning. Monday morning, I call Henderson and Associates' main number. "I'd like to speak to someone about expense account fraud," I tell the receptionist. "I'll transfer you to Human Resources." Janelle Morrison has been Laura's best friend since law school. She's also the HR director who would handle any allegations of misconduct. When she picks up, her voice is professionally neutral. "Mr. Kavanagh, how can I help you?" "I have some concerns about expense account irregularities involving senior staff." Long pause. "What kind of irregularities?" "The kind where 2 employees are billing the same personal activities as business expenses. Hotel rooms, dinners, shopping trips, all documented." Another pause, longer this time. "I think we should meet in person. Are you available this afternoon?" We meet at a coffee shop downtown, away from the law firm's prying eyes. Janelle looks nervous, constantly checking her phone. "Mike, I need you to understand something. Laura's my friend, but she's also my colleague. If there's misconduct happening, I have to investigate. I'm not asking you to take sides. I'm asking you to do your job." She reviews the documents Ray compiled, her expression growing more troubled with each page. "This is substantial. But Mike, why bring this to me? Why not just confront Laura directly?" "Because I want it handled properly, through channels." I lean back in my chair. "Unless you think the firm would prefer to handle this quietly? Avoid the scandal? That's not how we operate." "Good. Then I'm sure you'll want to interview both parties separately. Maybe check some security footage from these hotels, see if they were really conducting business meetings." Janelle's face goes pale. "Mike, what are you really after here?" "Justice. Accountability. The truth. I stand to leave. Laura will probably come home upset tonight. When she does, I'll be very supportive, very understanding. Right up until I decide not to be." That evening, Laura storms through our front door like a hurricane. "Some bastard is spreading lies about me at work," she shouts, throwing her briefcase on the kitchen counter. Anonymous tips about expense accounts, questions about my relationship with Nathan. It's harassment. I look up from my newspaper, the picture of concerned confusion. What kind of lies? Someone's trying to make it look like Nathan and I are having an affair. Can you believe that? 23 years of marriage, and some jealous asshole thinks they can destroy my career with gossip. That's terrible, honey. Any idea who might do something like that? She stops pacing, studies my face. Mike, you wouldn't what? Nothing. Never mind. I'm just stressed. She comes over and kisses my forehead. I'm sorry for yelling. This promotion has everyone gunning for me. I understand. But Laura, if there were any truth to these rumors, you'd tell me, right? Of course I would. Mike, I love you. You know that? I know. But as she heads upstairs to shower, I can't help smiling. Round one goes to me. My phone buzzes. Another unknown number. Stop digging or you'll regret it. This time I text back, make me. The response comes at 3 a.m., a photo of me scratching Nathan's car, taken from an angle that shows my face clearly. Whoever's been watching has better surveillance than I thought. I delete the message and make coffee, mind racing. Someone's playing both sides, stirring up trouble and documenting everything. But why threaten me if they have evidence? Why not just turn it over to police, unless they want something else entirely? At 6 a.m., I'm at Eddie's gym, working my frustration out on the heavy bag. Eddie watches me throw combinations, occasionally calling out corrections. You're dropping your right hand, he says. Keep it up, protect your face. Maybe I want someone to hit me. Might feel better than this slow-motion torture. Trust me, getting hit don't solve nothing. But hitting back? Eddie grins. That's therapeutic. Someone's been taking pictures, Eddie. They've got evidence of what I did to Nathan's car. So? You scratched some asshole's paint job. Misdemeanor vandalism at worst, if they can even prove it was you. It's not about the legal trouble. It's about Laura finding out I know. Eddie stops the bag mid-swing. Mike, you're thinking about this all wrong. You're worried about getting caught playing defense when you should be playing offense. Meaning? Meaning stop sneaking around like a guilty man. You didn't break any vows. You didn't lie to anyone. So why are you acting like the criminal? He's right. I've been tiptoeing around my own life, afraid to disturb the peace while Laura burns down our marriage. Time to change tactics. That afternoon, I move our joint savings account to a new bank, one that requires both signatures for withdrawals. I cancel Laura's credit cards, the ones tied to my accounts anyway. I also make some calls to old friends in the business community. By Thursday, word has spread through Millbrook Falls' small professional circle. Mike Kavanagh's marriage is in trouble, and he's not going quietly. Laura comes home that evening in a fury. What the hell did you do to our credit cards? Consolidated our accounts. We're spending too much money. I tried to buy gas and my card was declined. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was? About as embarrassing as finding out your wife's been charging hotel rooms to fuck her boss? The words hang in the air like a slap. Laura's face cycles through shock, denial, and finally, calculation. Mike, I don't know what you think you know, but I know about the Riverside Motel. I know about the expense account fraud. I know about Nathan Cormack and your red lipstick and the lies you've been telling me for months. She sits down heavily at our kitchen table, the fight going out of her all at once. How long have you known? Long enough. Mike, I never meant for this to happen. It just developed. Nathan and I work closely together and... Stop. I hold up my hand. I don't want to hear your justifications. I want to know what you plan to do about it. What do you mean? I mean, are you leaving me for him? Are you ending the affair? What's your play here, Laura? She looks genuinely confused, like she hadn't thought past the excitement of sneaking around. I don't know. I need time to think. Fine. Think all you want. But do it somewhere else. Mike, this is my house too. Actually, it's not. I bought this place before we got married, remember? You're welcome to stay, but only if you're committed to fixing what you broke. Otherwise, pack a bag. Laura stares at me like I've grown a second head. In 23 years of marriage, I've never given her an ultimatum, never raised my voice, never put my foot down about anything important. You're not serious. Try me. She goes upstairs and packs a suitcase. An hour later, she's gone. My phone rings immediately. Nathan Cormack's name appears on the caller ID. Mike, we need to talk. No, we don't. This situation has gotten out of hand. I think we can reach an understanding. What kind of understanding? The kind where everyone walks away with their dignity intact. Meet me at the Anchor in an hour. I hang up and call Eddie. Want to watch me have a conversation with my wife's boyfriend? Wouldn't miss it. Nathan's waiting in a corner booth when I arrive, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. He's traded his usual $1,000 suit for khakis and a polo shirt, trying to blend in with the blue-collar crowd. It's not working. I slide into the booth across from him. Eddie takes a seat at the bar, close enough to intervene if things get physical. Mike, I want you to know I have tremendous respect for you. Funny way of showing it. Nathan winces. What happened between Laura and me? It wasn't planned. These things sometimes develop in high-pressure work environments. Cut the corporate bullshit, Nathan. You're fucking my wife. Own it. Fine. Yes, Laura and I became involved, but it doesn't have to destroy anyone's life. You're a reasonable man. We can work something out. He slides an envelope across the table. Inside is a cashier's check for $50,000. What's this? A gesture of goodwill. Enough to start over, maybe relocate. Laura's career is just taking off, and frankly, staying in Millbrook Falls would be difficult for all of us. I stare at the check, then at Nathan's earnest face. He actually thinks he can buy me off like a nuisance lawsuit. You know what, Nathan? You're right. This situation is difficult for all of us. His face brightens. I'm glad you're being reasonable about this. Oh, I'm being very reasonable. In fact, I'm going to help you solve your problem. How's that? I tear the check in half and drop the pieces on the table. I'm going to make sure everyone in town knows exactly what kind of man you are, starting with your wife. Nathan's face hardens. That would be a mistake, Mike. I have resources you don't, connections. I can make your life very difficult. More difficult than it already is? My wife's cheating on me with her boss, someone's blackmailing me with surveillance photos, and I'm sitting in a dive bar negotiating with a man who thinks 50 grand can buy him a clear conscience. I lean forward. Nathan, my life's already as difficult as it gets. But yours? Yours is about to get a whole lot worse. I stand to leave, then pause. Oh, and Nathan. Next time you want to intimidate someone, don't do it in Eddie Delgado's bar. He's very protective of his customers. Eddie raises his beer in a mock toast as Nathan hurries out. Think he got the message? Eddie asks. If he didn't, he will. My phone buzzes with another anonymous text. Last warning. Back off or face the consequences. This time, I screenshot the message and forward it to Ray Hutchins with a note. Can you trace this number? His response comes back within minutes. Already working on it. But Mike, you might want to be careful. Someone's playing a bigger game than you realize. What do you mean? The surveillance photos, the anonymous tips to Laura's firm, the threats. Someone's orchestrating this whole thing. Question is, who benefits from watching your marriage explode in public? I think about that as I drive home to my empty house. Who benefits from destroying both Laura's career and my reputation? Who has access to surveillance equipment and my phone number? Who's been feeding information to multiple parties while pretending to help? The answer hits me like a cold slap. Janelle Morrison, Laura's best friend and HR director. The woman I trusted with evidence of the affair. The woman I fired from my company 8 years ago for embezzling client funds. Ray's research confirms my suspicions. Janelle Morrison has been playing puppet master from the beginning, feeding information to all parties while documenting everything for maximum damage. She's been planning this for years, Ray explains over coffee at his shop. After you fired her, she went back to school, got an HR certification, and worked her way into Henderson and Associates specifically to get close to Laura. But why involve Nathan? Why orchestrate the affair? Because destroying your marriage wasn't enough. She wanted to take down Laura's career too. What better way than to expose her for expense account fraud and sleeping with her boss? The surveillance photos make sense now. Janelle had access to Nathan's schedule, Laura's calendar, even the firm's credit card statements. She could have easily arranged for them to be alone together, created opportunities for the relationship to develop. She's been blackmailing them too, Ray continues. Nathan's been paying her to keep quiet about the affair. Laura doesn't know yet, but Janelle's been building a case file that would destroy both their careers. And the threats to me? Keeping you in line while she gathered evidence. She needed you to be the wronged husband, not the vindictive ex-boss. Made for a better story. I feel sick. Not just because I've been manipulated, but because I played right into her hands. Every move I made, every revenge scheme, fed into Janelle's larger plan. What's her endgame? Near as I can tell, she wants to watch all three of you burn. You lose your wife, Laura loses her career, Nathan loses his reputation and probably his marriage. Janelle gets to play the concerned friend who tried to help everyone. Not if I stop her first. Ray grins. Now you're thinking like a chess player instead of a checkers player. What did you have in mind? That evening, I call Laura at her hotel. We need to talk. All of us. You, me, Nathan, and Janelle. Mike, I don't think that's a good idea. Everyone's emotions are running high. This isn't about emotions anymore. It's about survival. Janelle's been playing us against each other, and if we don't stop her, she's going to destroy all of us. Long pause. What are you talking about? Meet me at the old Riverside Mill tomorrow at 8 p.m. Bring Nathan and Janelle. I'll explain everything then. Mike, that place has been abandoned for years. It's not safe. Neither is trusting Janelle Morrison. But if you want to keep pretending she's your friend while she burns down your life, that's your choice. The Riverside Mill closed in 2003, another casualty of overseas manufacturing. The building still stands on the outskirts of town, 5 stories of brick and broken dreams. I arrive early to set up. Ray's provided me with wireless cameras and a portable projector. If I'm going to expose Janelle's scheme, I want it documented. I also want witnesses to whatever happens next. Laura arrives first, looking nervous and overdressed for an abandoned building. Nathan comes 10 minutes later, clearly unhappy about the location. Janelle is last, and I can see the calculation in her eyes as she surveys the scene. Mike, what's this all about? Laura asks. I fire up the projector, casting images onto the brick wall. Bank records, email printouts, surveillance photos, and phone records. 8 years of careful planning laid out in chronological order. This is about Janelle's revenge, I say, starting with her embezzlement from my company and ending with her systematic destruction of all our lives. Janelle's face doesn't change, but Nathan goes pale as he recognizes some of the documents. You've been blackmailing me, he says to Janelle. I've been protecting the firm's interests, she replies calmly. Bullshit. I advance to the next slide, showing email exchanges between Janelle and Nathan. You've been extorting money from him to keep quiet about the affair you helped orchestrate. Laura stares at the evidence, pieces finally clicking into place. You knew about Nathan and me before Mike did. I knew before it even happened, Janelle says. I made sure it happened. Nathan's always been weak for younger associates, and you've always been susceptible to flattery from authority figures. It wasn't hard to arrange. You manipulated us, Nathan says. I gave you opportunities. You made the choices. And the surveillance photos? The anonymous tips? Janelle shrugs. I needed documentation, evidence, a complete record of everyone's misconduct. I click to the final slide, a draft lawsuit naming all 3 of us as defendants: sexual harassment, expense account fraud, conspiracy to defraud the firm. Janelle's name appears as the primary witness for the prosecution. This is your endgame, I say. Destroy all of us while positioning yourself as the whistleblower who tried to prevent it. You destroyed yourselves, Janelle says. I just documented the process. No, you orchestrated it. You created situations, manipulated emotions, and fed information to all parties to maximize the damage. Laura's voice is barely a whisper. Janelle, I trusted you. You're my best friend. Your best friend wouldn't have helped you commit career suicide, but your enemy might encourage it. The admission hangs in the air like smoke. Nathan starts toward Janelle, but I block his path. Don't, I warn. That's exactly what she wants. More evidence of erratic behavior. Instead, I walk to the building's main electrical panel and flip the fire alarm. The sound is deafening in the enclosed space, and emergency lights begin flashing. Mike, what are you doing? Laura shouts over the noise. Creating chaos, I yell back, just like Janelle's been doing to us. In the confusion, I grab Janelle's purse and Nathan's briefcase, dumping the contents on the floor. Phones, tablets, recording devices, and a thick folder labeled insurance. More evidence? I ask Janelle. Backup documentation. You never know when people might try to destroy evidence. I scatter the papers, then grab Nathan's car keys and throw them into an oil drum filled with black water. Mike, stop this, Nathan demands. Why? Afraid of a little inconvenience? A little public embarrassment? I turn to face all three of them. You want to know what I learned from this whole experience? I learned that being the nice guy, the understanding husband, the reasonable man gets you nothing but a front-row seat to your own destruction. I advance on Janelle, not threatening, just crowding her space. But being the villain? Being the guy who fights back? That's got real potential. You're making a mistake, Mike, she says, backing away. No, my mistake was trusting any of you. My mistake was playing defense instead of offense. My mistake was caring more about being right than being effective. The fire alarm finally stops, leaving us in echoing silence. Here's what's going to happen, I continue. Janelle, you're going to withdraw your lawsuit and destroy all your evidence. Nathan, you're going to resign from Henderson and Associates and recommend Laura for managing partner. Laura, you're going to file for divorce and ask for nothing. And if we don't, Nathan asks, then I release everything to the local newspaper, the State Bar Association, and Nathan's wife. All of it. The blackmail, the manipulation, the embezzlement. Everyone's dirty laundry gets aired in public. You destroy Laura's career out of spite? Janelle asks. Laura destroyed her own career. I'm just deciding whether to help her salvage what's left or let her burn with the rest of you. I look at my wife, the woman I've loved for over 2 decades, and feel something break inside my chest. Your choice, Laura. Take the divorce and the promotion, or lose everything in the flames Janelle started. Laura's crying now, makeup running down her cheeks. Mike, I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did hurt me. All of you did. The question now is whether you're going to keep hurting each other or start cleaning up the mess. Nathan finds his voice. What about you, Mike? What do you get out of this? I get to walk away clean. I get to be the wronged party who handled things with class instead of the bitter ex-husband who couldn't let go. I smile, and it feels like broken glass. Most importantly, I get to watch all of you live with the consequences of your choices. I head for the exit, leaving them in the flickering emergency lighting. Mike, wait, Laura calls. I turn back one last time. 23 years, Laura. That's what you traded for a few months of excitement with your boss. I hope it was worth it. Outside, I can hear them arguing, voices echoing through the empty building. Janelle's calm facade finally cracking, Nathan's panic setting in, Laura caught between her guilt and her ambition. My phone buzzes. Not an anonymous threat this time, but a text from Melissa Cormack, Nathan's wife. Thank you for the information about my husband. My lawyer will be in touch with him soon. I drive home through empty streets, feeling lighter than I have in months. Tomorrow, the real consequences begin. The Millbrook Falls Annual Street Fair happens every September, turning Main Street into a carnival of local vendors, fried food, and small-town politics. This year, I have a special reason to attend. 3 weeks have passed since the confrontation at the mill. Nathan resigned from Henderson and Associates, citing personal reasons. Janelle was quietly terminated for conflicts of interest. Laura got her promotion to managing partner but filed for divorce the same day. The local newspaper ran a tasteful story about changes at the prestigious law firm, but the real gossip spread through coffee shops and barber shops like wildfire. Mrs. Driscoll proved especially effective at information distribution. I'm manning the Kavanagh engineering booth, handing out branded pens and talking to potential clients when I spot them across the street. Laura looks professional and composed, working the crowd like the politician she's always been. Nathan's nowhere to be seen, probably dealing with his own divorce proceedings. But Janelle's here, trying to blend into the crowd, watching Laura from a distance. Even now, she can't resist monitoring her handiwork. At 3 p.m., the street fair's traditional charity auction begins. Local businesses donate items and services, with proceeds going to the volunteer fire department. I've donated something special this year. Ladies and gentlemen, announces Mayor Patterson from the makeshift stage, our next item is a unique offering from Mike Kavanagh of Kavanagh Engineering. Mike's donating a complete home security system installation, including cameras and monitoring equipment. I step onto the stage, taking the microphone from the mayor. Thanks, Bob. You know, I've learned a lot about security recently, about watching and being watched, about trust and surveillance. I scan the crowd, finding Laura's surprised face, Janelle's suspicious glare. Sometimes you don't know you need security until someone's already violated your privacy. A murmur runs through the crowd. In a town this size, everyone knows something happened between me and Laura, but the details have been carefully managed. This system includes everything you need to monitor your property, record visitors, document activities, keep track of who's coming and going. I pause for effect. It's amazing what you can discover when you're actually paying attention. Laura's face has gone pale. She knows where this is heading. For instance, did you know that some people use expense accounts to fund personal activities? Or that certain professionals have been known to conduct business meetings in motel rooms? The crowd's getting restless now, sensing drama. Of course, that's all just hypothetical. I spot Eddie in the crowd, grinning broadly. Ray's there too, recording everything on his phone. The bidding starts at $500. Do I hear $500 for a complete security package? $500, calls out Mrs. Driscoll, clearly enjoying the show. $600, shouts Tom Bradley from the hardware store. $1,000. The voice comes from the back of the crowd. Nathan Cormack pushes through the people, looking desperate and angry. Well, I say into the microphone. Nathan Cormack, former managing partner of Henderson and Associates. Nathan, you look like a man who understands the value of good security. Mike, that's enough, he calls out. Is it? Because I think the people of Millbrook Falls deserve to know what kind of professionals they're dealing with. What kind of people they're trusting with their legal matters. Laura tries to push toward the stage, but the crowd's too thick. You see, folks, security systems are only as good as the people monitoring them. Take my friend Nathan here. He's been very concerned about security lately, especially after his wife hired that private investigator. Nathan's face goes red. You son of a bitch. Now, Nathan. Language. There are children present. I turn back to the crowd, but Nathan raises an interesting point about family values, about commitment and trust between spouses. Mike, stop this right now. Laura finally reaches the front of the stage. Hello, Laura. Enjoying the fair? I know how much you love public events, community engagement and all that. She climbs onto the stage, trying to take the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, my husband is having a difficult time with our separation. He's not thinking clearly. Oh, I'm thinking very clearly. Clearer than I have in months. I keep hold of the microphone. Tell them about the red lipstick, Laura. Tell them about the expense account fraud. Tell them about your mentoring sessions with Nathan. The crowd's buzzing now, phones coming out to record the spectacle. You want to destroy me, Laura hisses. I want to tell the truth. There's a difference. Nathan finally reaches the stage, grabbing for the microphone. "Give me that thing." "Nathan, I don't think you want more attention right now. Melissa's divorce lawyer is probably watching." He swings at me, a wild haymaker that I easily dodge. The crowd gasps as Nathan stumbles off balance. Folks, as you can see, Nathan's got some anger management issues. Probably why his wife kicked him out of the house. Nathan comes at me again, but Eddie's suddenly there, stepping between us. "That's enough, Nathan. Walk away." "This is harassment," Nathan shouts. "I'll have you arrested." "For what? Donating to charity? Telling the truth at a public event?" I smile into the microphone. "Nathan, the only crime here is adultery, and that's not illegal anymore." Laura tries one more time to grab the microphone, but I step back. "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your attention today. The security system is still available for bidding, but I think we've already provided the best demonstration of why you might need one." I drop the microphone and walk off the stage, leaving Laura and Nathan to face the crowd's stares and whispered comments. At the edge of the fair, I spot Janelle hurrying toward her car. She's trying to escape before anyone connects her to the drama, but I'm not done with her yet. "Janelle!" "Wait up!" She turns, face tight with controlled fury. "Mike, you've lost your mind." "Have I? Or have I finally found it?" I pull out my phone, showing her a video file. "Recognize this?" It's from our little meeting at the mill. Amazing audio quality. Her confession about orchestrating the affair, manipulating all of us, planning our destruction. All of it recorded in crystal clear digital. "What do you want?" "Nothing from you. You're finished in this town. Words already spreading about your termination from Henderson and Associates, about your history of embezzlement, about your little revenge scheme. You can't prove any of that." "I don't have to prove it. I just have to suggest it." In a town this size, suggestion becomes fact pretty quickly. Janelle's composure finally cracks. "You bastard. You self-righteous, vindictive bastard." "You're right. I am vindictive. Turns out I'm very good at it." I lean closer. "Janelle, you wanted to watch my life burn. Instead, you get to watch your own." She gets in her car and drives away, tires squealing on the asphalt. Back at the fair, the crowd's dispersing, but the damage is done. By tomorrow, everyone in Millbrook Falls will know the story. Laura's reputation is in tatters, Nathan's career is over, and Janelle's schemes are exposed. Eddie finds me at my truck, still grinning. "That was beautiful, Mike. Absolutely beautiful." "Think I went too far?" "Hell no. You went exactly far enough." He claps me on the shoulder. Besides, they had it coming. My phone rings, Laura's name on the caller ID. "What do you want?" "I want to talk. Please, Mike." Just the two of us. Nothing left to talk about, Laura. The lawyers can handle everything else. "Mike, I know I hurt you. I know I made terrible choices. But did you have to destroy me in public like that?" I think about it for a moment, watching the fair's cleanup crews dismantle the stage where I'd just torched 3 lives. "Yeah, Laura, I did. You destroyed our marriage in private, then lied about it for months. You stole from your firm, betrayed your clients, and let someone else manipulate you into throwing away everything we built together." I pause, feeling the weight of 23 years settling on my shoulders. "So yes, I had to destroy you in public. It's called consequences. I never meant for any of this to happen. But it did happen. And now, we both have to live with it." I hang up and drive home through the quiet streets of Millbrook Falls. Tomorrow, I'll start over. New town, maybe. New life, definitely. But tonight, I'm going to sit on my front porch with a beer and enjoy the satisfaction of a job well done. They called me the underdog, the nice guy, the reasonable man. Turns out I'm much better at being the villain.